Thank you very much. Sorry about that. Yes. Before the project, CommuniCity, as I said, it is a 3-year coordination support action. It is funded by Horizon, and it will host 3 rounds along 3 years. It will host 3 rounds of open calls. The first round has just started. The piloting phase is at the very end, more or less, of the first round. And we had published the second open call on the 12th of September. As Anne-Marie was saying, we have the third, as it says here, we have the third round. Basically, CommuniCity is a very citizen-centered project. It is actually driven by the cities. We have 3 main partner and main pilot cities, which are Porto, Amsterdam, and Helsinki. And the final goal, the main goal, is to involve as many cities as possible, especially during the third round, with the aim of funding 100 technical pilots. Because it is a city-centered, as I said, citizen-centered project, what we try to do is trying to find innovative technical solutions in order to really improve citizens' life, in order to sort of try to help the cities overcome the challenges that they face every day. So what is really extremely important and relevant is the co-design and the co-creation, the collaboration between the project and the cities. So what we do is really talk to the cities and try to, with them, try to understand how we can help and how we can provide, we can focus our attention specifically on hard to reach or marginalized communities. And by that, I mean any kind of marginalized communities. It could be disabled, it could be elderly, it could be low digital skills, or any kind of community that doesn't really have access to many tools or many solutions or doesn't have enough resources. So this is basically our starting point. The first round was based on the main pilot cities only. With the second one, we are extending our invitations to partnering cities, replicator cities, and then the third round we will open to European Union citizens. So before I hand the presentation over to Celia and Anne-Marie, I would like to remind you that the event is recorded and you will find the link of the presentation on our website. And also, I would like to remind you that you are more than welcome to ask as many questions as you want. But if you don't mind, we will reply to all your questions at the end. So I would kindly invite you to write them down on the chat. So I will take notes and then we will all reply to you. Anne-Marie, Celia, the stage is yours now. So here you go. You go now, girls.
So here once more the agenda. So we have already covered welcome by coordinator Josephine. Thank you for your warm words and the overview of the CommuniCity project. And next I will go through the introduction to the second round of open calls. And after that, we will be hearing challenges for each of the cities by representatives of these cities. So you are able to meet the kind of a mid-bites of these challenges during the challenge presentations. And then there will be the CommuniCity technical framework presented by Adeb Sidani. And once more, I will go overview the next steps, what you need to do in order to make your application strong. And then we have the Q&A session, for which, as mentioned, you can write already now questions to the chat, or then you can leave the questions for later. And all these questions will be, and answers as well, available on the website later on. So if you have to leave before the Q&A session, they all will be available later on the website. And finally, we have a wrap up around 4 o'clock. So the next slide is then the introduction of the CommuniCity open call. So I think Josephine already quite carefully explained the open calls, how they work. So there was the first one that we are about to finalize now. The very last pilots are running at the moment, and we are almost able to close it. And now we have opened the second round of open calls, where we have 7 cities. And in total, we aim at 38 pilots. And the grant for the second round, as well as the first and the third, is the 12,500 per pilot. But what is exciting, during the second round of open calls, we do have the opportunity for cross-border pilots. More about those a bit later. And just heads up, so about 11 months from now, we have a third round of open calls opening, and there will be even more cities joining. So please bear that in mind as well. But if we deep dive into the second round of open calls, so just to remind you, the call is open until 31st of October and until 5 CET. So that is really important you to remember that, because after that we will reject all the applications, or to be exact, they are not, they will be not able to be submitted. And the grant per pilot is 12,500, but as mentioned, there is a possibility for cross-border pilots with additional funding of 5,000 or 10,000 euros. So maximum amount for one pilot team for 3 pilots is 32,500 euros. So that requires that you have this so-called master pilot with 2 cross pilots or cross-border pilots running in 2 additional cities. And as mentioned, we have reserved grants for 38 pilots, which are run in 7 cities, including both replicator cities and partnering cities. And what we mean by the replicator cities are namely Aarhus, Breda, Prague, and Tallinn. So these are the cities that have been invited for the second round of open calls. And the partnering cities, Amsterdam, Helsinki, and Porto, share their knowledge and best practices acquired during the first round of open calls with these replicator cities, and of course support their work and their pilots. And what we also do is we validate the processes that we have been developing, for example, regarding open calls and piloting during the first round of open calls. So there will be manuals coming up later in early December, covering these open calls and piloting processes. And if we deep dive now a bit deeper to the piloting process. So first step, there is the open call where we are at the moment. And after we close the open call on the 31st of October, we move on to the evaluation phase. So during that phase, expert juries nominated by each of the cities will evaluate each of the applications and choose the ones that will be proceeding to the piloting phase. And in this piloting phase, these selected proposals are experimented together with the cities, their citizens, and professionals in real-life conditions. And after the piloting phase is about to end, we will have a wrap-up where we gather for example, in form of a final reports, the learnings and the best practices from the piloting teams, and also ensure that the objectives of the pilot have been met. And regarding the payments, there will be one payment when the pilot kickoff meeting has been held, and the other one after the successful submission of the final report. And of course, after all the pilots have been closed, we are happy to announce the results. But as Josephine just said, the emphasis is in CommuniCity open core rounds in co-creation and co-learning. And next, we will take a bit closer look to the piloting timeline. So as mentioned, in November, we have an evaluation, and after that, with the successful piloting teams, we do have kickoff meetings where we confirm the piloting plan and make sure that all the resources are in their place in order to have successful pilots in the cities. And as mentioned, when this has happened, there will be first payment, a bit over 6,000, so half of the grant to the piloting teams. And from December to maybe April, there will be time to develop the solutions that piloting teams have proposed. And the piloting will happen, as mentioned, together with the test users or residents. And there will be also midterm reporting and meeting where we see that project plan is followed, and if there are any deviations for these plans, they will be dealt and discussed. And in April, we are expecting most of the piloting teams finalize their experiments in the cities, but in May, there is a kind of a final call for this, so then we have to finalize the pilots, have a final reporting and meetings. And after that, as mentioned, there is the second payment for the piloting teams. And maybe a few more words regarding cross-border challenges, since this is the new concept for the second round of open calls. So why we are introducing this kind of a possibility is that we have noticed that often cities share the similar challenges, and therefore in this call the cities have the opportunity to participate in each other's challenges. And during the second round of open calls, there are 6 cross-border challenges, which may result up to 9 cross-border pilots. And as mentioned, in case you are interested in these cross-border pilots, there is additional funding reserved for these. And now we move on to participating cities, so replicator cities and partnering cities, and we are ready to introduce the challenges. So having said that, I actually give floor to my colleague Celia, who will introduce the challenges that City of Helsinki hosts.
Thank you. So hi all. It doesn't matter. So I'm Celia Peltonen from Forum Virium Helsinki, as well as Anne-Mari here. We are here at the office in central of Helsinki now. And Forum Virium Helsinki is the innovation company owned by the City of Helsinki. So we are representing Helsinki in this CommuniCity project as well. So at the moment, as I am the leading the piloting part of the project, we are now in the end of the piloting phase, as Josephine mentioned, and we have 4 pilots ongoing from the first round, and happy to have even up to 10 pilots on this round. So shortly about the challenges that we have here. So the City of Helsinki, we have identified 6 challenges, and even 4 of them were similar challenges as for example, now in this case, Porto and Tallinn has identified as well. So these orange challenges are the ones which are cross-border pilots, which means that we will be doing these pilots here in Helsinki, but hopefully you will be providing your solution for the cities of Porto and Tallinn as well. The ones, challenges number 3 and 4, they are only for city of Helsinki related. But challenges number 1 and 2, they are about long-term unemployed solutions or challenges. So the first one, which we share with Porto and Tallinn, is how reliably measure the digital skills of long-term unemployed citizens. So shortly, sometimes, well, there is lots of different kind of variety of the level of digital skills for all people, but for long-term unemployed citizens, it's quite important to measure the digital skills so that it's easier for them to provide different kind of courses to get the better skill level for each individual. The second challenge with Tallinn is how to support the recognition of competence with the help of digital tool. So this is not about only digital competence, but all different kind of competencies that people have. And when we recognize the competence level, it's easier to get the long-term unemployed towards studying or working life. Challenge number 3 is quite precise. It's how to prevent pressure ulcers of wheelchair patients. Difficult word when you are presenting something. The pressure ulcers are so-called bed sores. So when you get too much pressure on some part of your skin, then it might give you ulcers. So this is a challenge number 3 here in Helsinki, how to prevent those. Challenge number 4 is how to enhance the quality of life and foster inclusion for citizens with severe disabilities through digital innovations. This challenge is for those clients of City of Helsinki who are visiting City of Helsinki facilities on like daily, they have daily visits there. So they are not patients who are living in certain units, but they come for half a day, and the nursing staff might not be able to recognize what are the needs of these severely disabled people. These clients might not be able to speak, so it's quite important to get the communication on some other level. So solutions for this are very welcome for challenge number 4. Challenge number 5 is a common challenge with Tallinn. It's about mobility. It's how to collect and generate accessible pedestrian route information through participatory data collection methods. It's a combination of many things. We have already tested here in Helsinki on some level. But the idea is to get participatory data collection and get that into benefit for pedestrians of marginalized groups, for example, blind people or people with mobility disabilities. Challenge number 6 is also mobility related. It's how to utilize existing data and data sources for activating digitally hard to reach residents. And this is Helsinki identified challenge, but I would like to mention that on Tallinn side, for example, they have these do we have Arne here, by the way? Am I taking his glory at the moment? Well, maybe we'll get back to Tallinn later on. Yeah, but it's how to utilize existing data. Lots of data is gathered from the city, and that happens all the time. How it can be utilized better for the benefit of hard-to-reach residents. Thank you. Did I take too much time? Probably I did.
No, but I was thinking maybe now we go to Breda, because I'm thinking that there might be Krista needing to leave a bit earlier. So let's see if I get it right. So Krista, floor is yours.
I have an hour left, so I don't need an hour, I think.
Just keep it maybe a bit shorter.
Yeah, but well, okay. I'll introduce the challenges of Breda and also the context in which these challenges have been formulated. Something more about this context. 2 years ago, a network of prevention partners in the city of Breda has been formed. It's like a network of 10 or 12 organizations, which all have societal goals and tasks. You can think about the youth health services, the social services, sport clubs, these kind of organizations. They have joined strength together because they wanted to know how effective is our preventive strategy in Breda, and also in the different neighborhoods of the city of Breda. It's not a very big city, but even so, there are different neighborhoods with different topics to address. So there is a common goal, and this network has formulated a very ambitious goal for the next 10 or maybe 20 years even, which is exceptional to think about these issues in the long term. That's very good, I think. The main goal is to get insight into the breakthrough of intergenerational problems. So what are those? Problems are being transferred from one generation to another. They are intergenerational. If they are, we can know it's in different. It's in every society, I think. There are different topics which can be intergenerational, like criminal behavior, like poverty, like addiction, trauma. So there are different kind of topics which unfortunately repeat themselves through the generations. So this network of partners is not only working towards this goal, which is a very ambitious goal to get a breakthrough in these problems, but also they are, or we are, eager to find out how technologies may advance these approaches to this topic. So to come back to the challenges, there are 3 challenges. You can see them here, and I will explain a little bit about them. The first is how to strengthen the broad positive health of youth through attractive and playful technology. So we don't only want to focus on the problems, but also on the solutions, of course. And maybe it's good to, I don't know if everybody is familiar with this term, positive health. It's a definition. There's also an institute which promotes a different way of looking at health. Normally in the healthcare system and also the youth care system, we are very much focused on tackling all kinds of problems. But health is also the ability to deal with our human frailty. Frailty and vulnerability is a part of being human. So it's not only about the absence of illness, it's also about dealing with vulnerability and also, just being having a good lifestyle, for instance. This first challenge, we focused on youth, and we also like to invite parties to come with solutions that are really attractive and playful, because one of the principles in this long-term project, long-term program in the city of Breda is also that the solutions have to be carried out by the people themselves, so by the youth, by their parents. They have to come up with solutions and also implement them in any way. So all these institutions which have gathered their forces in a network, they all work with youth on a daily basis. So their wish is to get them active in this process. So challenge 2, how can resilient role models help families to develop healthy relationships? Because one of the things we know about intergenerational problems, that is that communication, just the basic communication in families, is one of the strongest predictors of other problems. It's also cause. It's a cause and a consequence at the same time. So if the relationships, if the basic communication in families is at fault, is maybe destructive, you can wait for problems to happen. So if there are intergenerational problems, it's very hard to escape from that. And role models can also be added from outside the families. And we all know there are many role models on the internet, for instance, but they are not always a positive role model. So there are many influences on the internet. So we are looking for resilient role models chosen by youth. It's also a very participatory process. And these can be live role models or maybe AI role models or whatever. This is challenge 2. Challenge 3 is a wild card, meaning that we don't have a preference of a specific theme, but the overall theme is still intergenerational problems. We invite any party to come up with creative solutions, any technological solution to these ongoing problems through the generations. Is this enough, Josephine and Celia, Annemarie?
I think that is really good.
It is
Thank
for
you,
me. I
Krista.
think you went, yes, I think you went through details pretty well. And if anyone has any questions or anything, please write them down in the chat. Thank you, Krista.
And next, Amsterdam, Martelt. Go ahead.
Yes. Hi. I'm here. I'm on an outside location because I have a team building day. It's an event location, so that's why I'm sitting outside. But it's good weather, so luckily I'm able to do this right now. Our challenges. We have 6 challenges of our own. One with Prague Together, and the other one is Prague's challenge, and we joined Prague in their challenge. We don't have a specific context other than the CommuniCity contexts, so challenges for marginalized groups. And we searched within different departments of the city of Amsterdam, but also outside the city of Amsterdam, to see if there are any civilians who have challenges or maybe social or commercial organizations. So challenge number 1 is about how to support parents in online sex education and safety. That's about actually more about teenagers, girls and boys actually, who are easily seduced online to to get involved in into sex because it's maybe exciting, or maybe they're too shy to withdraw or anything. So we are trying to find out, can we develop a tool, or can someone develop a tool that gives parents support into addressing this subject with their children. There's a lot of shame there, talking about sex with children, and there's a lot of unknown facts about for parents to find out what their teenagers are doing online. It's a lot of it is hidden, and we're trying to find tools to connect the parents to their children, and to be able to find out what's going online, and in a gentle way get this subject on the table and talk about it, so we can prevent that this is happening. Second challenge is how to ensure accessible acceptance of a local payment systems among residents and local entrepreneurs in Amsterdam New West. This is like developing a small, different way of economics in neighborhoods in Amsterdam. There are experiments with local payment systems that show that if you keep money in the neighborhood, that with that you stimulate local entrepreneurs, and in the end you stimulate a small new local economy, more circular economy, and even jobs is the experience. So we try to make a more circular system, that money stays in the neighborhood, that money is spent within the neighborhood and within entrepreneurs in the neighborhood. And with that, we are looking for an interface, not really interface yet, but for some kind of stimulants or explanation about how this system works, but more what are the benefits for the entrepreneurs and for the ones who spend their money for the entrepreneurs. So we are trying to find a way to get people to finally use the system. So can we stimulate them by showing the benefits of a system like this, that this is important for the neighborhood, that this system is being realized in the end. So we're trying to find a stimulation, actually. The third challenge is how to encourage girls in New West to take part in sports and exercise. We know with research and experience that there is a certain target group in Amsterdam New West who do not involve in sports enough, and that they have a lack of a social group of people that they can interact with. And it's not, it would be better for their health and their social interaction if they would start doing sports more. The normal ways of reaching them are not working, like just have normal communication or show them where the sites are. So we're trying to find a way to seduce them and to find out what their real needs are in sports, and how we can show them and how we can seduce them again to go and do sports. Challenge 4 is about how to involve residents in a community savings and credit cooperative that supports social initiatives in the city. So that's again about a different money system where the neighborhood and the entrepreneurs, but also residents, put money in the saving systems. They are owner of that saving system, and they can decide what they will do, where the money in the neighborhood is spent, and how they want to stimulate some of the developments in the neighborhood themselves. So it's an ownership of a savings and credit a cooperative. Challenge 5 is how to include deaf and hearing impaired in broadcasting information on public transport. This is one from the public transport organization in Amsterdam. and deaf and hearing impaired have trouble or do not understand anything that is broadcasted in a tram. It's about a tram in this case, trams in this case. And we are looking for a system that anything that is broadcasted within it in the tram is translated into sign language or text that hearing impaired can read. So that's pretty clear one, I think. Challenge 6, that's one together with Prague. It's coming from Amsterdam, and it's how to adapt an existing technical solution for a specific group. For example, if you have a very popular app that people use, but are mainly used by people who are able to read very well, and people who do not understand text so much are not able to join. So how can you make this more inclusive? So how can you adapt this app so more people can use it, or more people of a specific group can use it? So and the last one is a original challenge of Prague, and Amsterdam joins with Porto. I don't know if I need to explain. Has anyone explained this? So I don't have to explain it again.
You can say a few words, but it's mainly Prague to explain
All right. Okay. So I will.
Why you're interested in might be.
I will stop. Is everything clear about what I explained?
I think you were really clear and really deserve rest of the day relaxing activities, and so you can go back whatever you were doing before joining our call, and thank you so much for dropping by to give us this really comprehensive overview, and just hope you didn't miss anything super fun from your
No, that's all right. That's all right. Okay. Thank you very much. Have a nice meeting.
Thank you, and we will pass on to you the questions that there might be.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye. And next there is Aarhus. So please, Julie, go ahead.
Hello.
Hello.
So I'm Julie, and this is my colleague Hans Christian. We are both from the city of Aarhus. And maybe just a few words on Aarhus before we dig into the challenge itself. We are the second city of Denmark, and we have about 350 citizens. Thousands, yes. We're not that small. But basically, like many other European cities, we are looking into the whole smart city topic, and we obviously want to use digitalization to become a better city for all our citizens. So this challenge here is in collaboration with our citizen service of the city of Aarhus. And Hans Christian, maybe you would like to say a few words.
Well, as the title says, we got this problem in not only in Aarhus but actually in several Danish cities that foreigners or people who come to take on a job, they have a problem setting up a bank account in the banks in Denmark, and that creates a circle of problems because the banks cannot, by law in Denmark, give pay in cash. It has to be via bank transfer, and if they don't do that, meeting a deadline, the companies risks to get fined. So in a way, this problem is not only a problem for the people who come here to work, but also a problem for the company's ability to grow. And of course, as in Denmark, we have a huge problem in recruiting work power or workforce in all sectors. So of course, this is also a problem in that regard. And we haven't, no one have actually really figured out what is the key to this problem. Is it the banks? Is it problems during the identification process of people, or where is it that the problem is? So we hope that that some of the work in this challenge can cast some light upon these issues.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we are having one challenge, and hopefully we'll have 2 pilots running. Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you, Julie and Hans. So now we move on to, let's see where we are heading. So Porto, Adep, go ahead. Floor is yours.
Thank you. So I am representing Porto. I work in Porto Digital, and we have 4 challenges. 2 of them are cross-border challenges. So we work closely with the municipality of Porto, and to identify these challenges, it was several associations and municipality departments working together to see the needs of these people. So basically, our challenges are focused on an area which has a lot of social housing, which is Campanha. And we identified in these challenges. First of all, we have the students or school dropout. So we would like to have a solution for attracting students to continue their studies and do not drop out at an earlier stage and try to finish all of their studies. So the first challenge was identified mainly by the Department of Education from the municipality of Porto. Then we have the second challenge, which is to improve the thermal comfort and overall health in the residence building. So basically, it's focusing on the social housing and how people could take over to reduce their thermal comfort. For example, if we created an application or something, they will have notifications, for example, that the house is too cold. Now you need to close the windows, you need to install some shaders, or like dry your clothes outside because it's too humid inside the house. So with some sensors and an application to give them more notion of what's happening in their house and how, like with easy steps, they could improve the way they are living in their houses. Then we have 2 cross-border challenges. First one is with Prague and Amsterdam. So basically, we would like this area, the area of Campanha, to work with the municipality and to participate in the planning of this local area, because normally these type of areas are marginalized and they live in isolation. So we want to involve them more in the planning of the whole area and even the outside area, how it could affect them as well. The final challenge is with Helsinki, the challenge number 1. So they already explained it before, but basically we have a lot of unemployment. And with the Institute of Employment and Professional Education, we are working together to try to find a digital solution also to identify the skills or improve the skills even for these unemployed people and make it easier for them to find jobs or be ready to take on another job or profession. So in short, these are Porto's challenges. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Thank you, Adep. And next we have Prague. Go ahead, Denisa. Floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. I am Denisa from city of Prague, from Czech Republic. And I work for a city data and a smart city company called Operator ICT. And well, I will say a few words about what we are doing, because both of our challenges are actually linked to that. So we are a city data company that collects open data from the city, like from the transport, environment, the movement of the people, of the transport, and so on. And based on that, we run a open data platform where these data are visualized, and also there are information about the smart city projects that we do. So our two challenges are linked to that, because we believe that to inform the citizens of Prague about the data from the city and about the smart city projects that we built on are very important for the citizens, for the decision making in elections, or just to be informed like what's happening in a city. And we also know that in Prague there are a few more excluded localities where the socio-economical situation of people is worse in the other areas. It's typically districts that are like on the edge of Prague. And of course, these people have worse access to digital tools, or they don't focus so much about getting information like this. So our challenge number 2 is about how to get these data and these projects to people from these localities. So we are looking for some digital tool that will be placed in these areas and will inform people living there about these projects and about whatever is happening in Prague. And the challenge number 1 is how to encourage people from these localities to participatory planning process in Prague, because in general the participatory planning doesn't have so big tradition in Prague. And now we have few projects made on this, but very often it requires traveling or participating in some events that are held in a city center, and often they are not in the areas where the projects will be built. So we are looking for some tool that will be in the areas and in these areas, and people can help to decide what they would like to build there, or participate in the future projects. Yeah, and this challenge number 1 is also a cross-border challenge with Amsterdam and Porto. So so we are looking for pilots that will be in all these 3 cities.
Thank you, Denisa. And the final challenge presentation is Tallinn, and I'm just checking, is Arne online? Maybe not, or it's not, but luckily City has prepared to present the Tallinn city. So go ahead, Silja.
Yes, so as mentioned, the challenges that we identified in Helsinki, even 4 of them were similar to the city of Tallinn that we have been collaborating in the past years a lot, and especially the Tallinn Welfare and Health Department has been identified from their side to be the collaborator in this piloting an open call. So the Welfare and Health Department of Tallinn is part of all these 4 challenges, and obviously the 2 cities have different kind of administrative structures and so on, but we are 2 cities quite nearby, and we have found several similarities between our organizations as well. But yeah, so number 1 and 2, they were about the long-term unemployed citizens, and those we are hoping to have the solution piloted in both cities. In challenge number 5 and 6, which are mobility related, there I would like to point out that in challenge number 5, how to collect and generate accessible pedestrian route information through participatory data collection methods. In Helsinki, we have this map called Service Map, which provides information to the residents and tourists and so on. And in Tallinn, there's a bit similar kind of accessibility map available. So both cities already have good map tools to utilize in this challenge. About Tallinn characteristics for challenge number 6, how to utilize existing data and data sources for activating digitally hard to reach residents. I was almost about to tell about that in Helsinki presentation. So I don't know how many of you have visited Tallinn, but when you go there, at least in the very center, I have seen many times these cute little autonomous delivery robots which deliver different kinds of groceries and all kind of items to clients. And these delivery robots, I'm not sure if it's LiDAR-based data, but I assume that it's LiDAR-based data from the area that they are moving, and this data can be utilized in the challenge number 6. So how to utilize the existing data, for example, autonomous delivery robot data. So that is available in Tallinn. And yes, so Tallinn has 4 challenges they're part of, and they are looking for up to 5 pilots, please.
Thank you, Celia. I think we have now covered all the 7 cities and their challenges. And there is more information on the challenges on the CommuniCity web pages. So please go there and deep dive the further information. And now we move on to technical framework, and we are exactly on time, I think. So Adep, go ahead and have a great 6-minute presentation. You got 1 extra minute.
Okay, so this is the interesting part of CommuniCity. Not only we offer the pilots and the challenges, but we also offer some technical tools and frameworks to be used as well to help people develop their solutions. So next slide, please. So we do not only use, like our tools are not just for CommuniCity. It's not a project-based solution. They are tools based on European regulations and standards. So we are trying to standardize the rules and the way apps or applications are developed. And it's free. We're not trying to sell any service, just to make it clear. And basically, we have several points here that these technical frameworks are trying to provide. So first of all, we are providing a set of assets, specifications, software approaches to support the design and development of the innovative solutions. So basically, this is the first one. This will enable the interoperability between cities, infrastructure, and other services between one application and another, not on city levels only. And this will enable the replicability. So any service will help us with the replicability of the solution without any problem of implementing it in one city or another. So basically, they are talking the same language. So everything is in English. It's easy to understand. It's easy to implement. We don't have any problem translating one language to another. So this is basically the same on a digital level. So if we move to the other slide. So I'm gonna, yeah. So what I just said is basically represented in this figure. So we have several cities. These cities have the open call, and they offer some challenges, and they want some solutions. So when we do these solutions, we have services, applications, whatever, softwares. And if we use these tools that we are offering as well in CommuniCity, we will standardize the specifications and the APIs of what's going on inside these solutions or technologies that are being developed. As well, we will offer a sandbox, which is basically an environment having all the data by the city based on your specific application that you want to develop. And you could test it without messing with the data of the city itself, but everything you have at your disposal. And you will adjust your application before you implement your final product. So basically, if I want to give a general example, imagine a smart city aiming to improve the traffic management system, for example. So for that, you use the minimum interoperability mechanisms, which are the MIMs, and you use the specifications and the APIs. So for that, you will have a seamless integration of traffic management solutions from various developers. So let's say we have 100 applications, 100 solutions or softwares. They will be integrated all together without any problem. And as well, so the result will be like implementing something really fast. If you also use the toolbox, you will have a practical traffic solutions from several developers, or you could implement it in another city or one city, so it doesn't matter. And you could test it in the sandbox, so you will have all the data from the traffic lights, from the congestion, from everything. You will test all these data in the sandbox without messing with the city's data, and then you will implement your final solution when it's ready. So in brief, this is it. Now I will just enter a little bit more into details of the OWASP MIMs that I just mentioned earlier. We have around 10 MIMs. Here in CommuniCity, we have a workshop, and we are trying to develop MIM 5, which is fair and fair artificial intelligence. So basically, we are trying to make the artificial intelligence tools a little bit also easier to access and implement by anybody. So we have a GitHub repository that offers some, for example, face recognition and other similar services. So you basically copy the code, use it as much as you want. And of course, if you have a specific solution and you need something to do with AI in a specific environment or for a specific purpose, and it's possible to develop it, we could also help you develop that. So basically, this is what we offer in this technical framework from CommuniCity. And afterwards, we have the links. So you have several links at your disposal. In the next slide, if we can see it, yes. So the CommuniCity technical documentation. So if you access the first link, you could go and see what we offer. So you have the support for AI, you have the sandbox, everything is in the first link. And we have two more links, basically, for more details and reading more into the specifications. And if you want to access directly that sandbox, if you have your solution ready and you want to access the sandbox, you just send an email to CommuniCities at Porto Digital with your name, organization, the number of the call, and the challenge number, and we could directly give you access to the sandbox. So basically, in this second round of open calls, it's not obligatory to use these tools, but we highly encourage you to use them because it's just a help for the solutions, and basically we want to unify all the solutions. Basically, that's it. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Thank you, Odette. And now we move on to the overview of the application process. So let's just check the must-haves when you apply. So as mentioned, all the applications must be submitted by filling in online application form. And after submission of your application, you will receive an email with an identification code, so you don't have to think, was it submitted properly? And also we can track it later on if that is needed. And I would kindly remind you, before writing your application, please read carefully all CommuniCity call documents and challenge descriptions. These are all found from the website. And also, it is really good to browse through the useful tips which we have gathered from the first round of open calls. And also, if you lack any kind of expertise from your team, that missing piece of a puzzle, please use CommuniCity matchmaking tool in order to find this missing piece and expertise. And if you have any questions, not meaning this info event, because you will have a chance to present them later, but if after this event you still have some questions or they pop into your mind later on, please send them to email on the screen on the presentation. So opencalls@CommuniCity Project EU. And please submit your questions by 24th of October, because that is the date that we still take questions in. But after that, we will close the questions in order to be able to answer them by the ending of the open call, so 31st of October. And all the questions and answers presented will be made public on the Q&A page on the CommuniCity website. And just a few reminders still. So please remember that all the applications must be in English and submitted by the deadline, and that is exactly at 5 CET on 31st October. So in the afternoon, 5 o'clock. And in case you wonder, can you submit multiple applications? Yes, for different challenges, you can submit one application, but for one challenge, you are able to submit only one application. So please bear that in mind. And after careful evaluation of the proposals by the expert juries, all the applicants will receive their scores by email, and we expect the last evaluations to be finalized by mid-December, but this is probably earlier. But in case you are wondering when you will receive the email, it will be by mid-December. And now we finally have a Q&A session. So in case you have any questions, you can write them on the chat, or you can open your mic and ask them now.
Yes, so indeed, I noticed that we have had such clear presentations that there are no questions on the chat, but it's not too late to write on the chat or open your mic and maybe even camera, as Yorgos, you would be the first one. Go ahead, please.
Hi. I have a few questions. Thank you very much for the detailed explanations already. One first question would be on the payments. Is it always 50-50, or is it different if you are doing the cross-pilot challenges and have a higher budget? Is it still 50-50, or how is that handled?
It will be 50-50, more or less. But if there is great time difference between starting the pilots, then there might be some negotiations regarding how the payments will be made. But in principle, yes, half and half.
Yeah. Okay. And maybe a second question, if I can. Should we already be in touch with local with the local hosts of the challenges, or is that something we can do along the way, or is there anything set up to facilitate this?
Yeah, so you are talking about the city pilot hosts that
Yes.
yes. So in this open call, the cities have identified the challenges, and now they are open for your application. But it will be after the evaluation that you will actually be in contact with the cities. So we want to keep the level same to all.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. There are, if I understand correctly, also host organizations within the cities that will be kind of providing context or local NGOs, for example, but also those we will only contact after being granted the project.
Yes, so in each challenge, there is a description who from the city will be the pilot host. And in some cases, the pilot host is not already available. So in at least in Helsinki, we have one case that it's written there that you need to find your own pilot collaborator for that. So you need to read the challenge descriptions and see case by case how it is there. It varies quite a bit.
Yes.
Okay, great. Maybe a final technical question on the, if I understand correctly, we are strongly encouraged, let's say, to adopt the MIMS in our tools and APIs.
Yes, so it's not mandatory, but if you want, we could offer you any support you need, and we could develop anything that is needed from your side. So basically, we are still developing the tools. We have them ready, but we are always modifying. So if we have a specific need for anybody, we could also modify a little bit or just develop like an extension over a series of codes just for the application at hand.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very good questions. Thank you for those. Do we have anything else in the chat? No. Anyone else who would like to ask?
There is one question that was presented in the registration form. I can put it on the chat at the moment. So there is one who would like to know insights into the expectations in terms of local partnerships before and during the pilots and technical integrations. So I have to say I don't quite understand this question, but is there the person who has submitted this question present? So maybe we could have a bit more information. I guess no, but
maybe I can offer some answer in behalf of the city of Breda in the Netherlands, because co-creation and participation is a very large aspect of our challenges, and also has a lot of weight in the evaluation of the applications. So yes, the expectation of the city of Breda is that any technological solution is not only tested a few times, but is really conceived in co-creation with the people who are going to use it. For example, we talk about resilient role models. they can be created possibly through AI or some kind of online presence. But to create those, of course, it's not the purpose to ask youth how to do it technically, but the content of such role models and what they wish for. What kind of technology would be acceptable and usable for youth? All these kind of processes, it's a social innovation, you could call it. So the social part of the technological solution is very important for these challenges. So the expectations are, to be concrete, I think you have to have a minimum of 3 sessions with youth to create something, and preferable in the local context. But it's also imaginable that these meetings can be online. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Krista. Thank you for understanding the question better than I did. We had one question, another one which was submitted before, and it was about the what is the minimum period for piloting. So the piloting will start in December and end in May, and it is not required how long the period, the actual piloting period with the end users, with the residents will take place. It is totally up to the solution that you have and what kind of piloting, what kind of collaboration is needed with the residents. So no minimum period.
Any other questions?
If not, then as mentioned, all the questions will always be added to the CommuniCity webpage, because all the questions and answers, especially the answers, need to be available for everyone. So
Yes.
Also, if I may, you can all have our emails. So please contact for any questions that you may have even in the future, of course, in the next few days. You have myself, Adib, Celia, and Anne-Marie's contact details. So please feel free to contact us for anything that you may require. Ladies, do we have any more slides, or we can just
we can wrap up. Maybe we can just remind that all the emails are found under the cities page from the CommuniCity web. So there you can find the information for the city contacts. So Josephine, go ahead.
Yeah, again, the link of this event, you will find it by tomorrow, I think, or even later on today on the website, on the CommuniCity website. Again, for any questions, please feel free to contact us. And what else? Well, thank you very much for your attendance first, but also for the questions and the participations. It was really nice to hear from your own voice about the challenges, details. So thank you very much again for joining us. And we will let you have all the details for the next info event or any other events that we will organize. And also, I would take this opportunity to let you know that we will be presenting CommuniCity at the European Week of the Regions in Brussels next week. The session will be, thanks Giacomo, who is now in the audience as well. Giacomo is one of our partners from the European Network of Living Labs, and he's organized this session at the European Week of the Regions. And also, the project will be presented at the Smart City Expo in Barcelona between the 7th and the 9th of November. So just in case we will keep you updated on major events or any other webinar or event that we organize or where the project will be presented. So just in case you want to be part of that. Right, this is all from us, I think. So thank you very much again. Wish you a very nice rest of the day, and we will talk soon then.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.